Hello guys, let's check the sound. Could you please tell me if you can hear me well? Great. So we start our webinar of iRidium for KNX. I hope it will take about 1 hour. If you have questions, please ask them not in public chat but in questions section. The first part of the webinar will be presentation with main information in there. After that, we are going to open the desktop and see the software itself. Okay, so I hope all latecomers are already here. So let's start. This is our short plan, iRidium for KNX review. Sorry, I disappeared due to connection for some reason. Okay, once again, can you hear me well? Okay, now. All right. So our plan. iRidium for KNX review, then bus control principles, then connection setup, variable types, control item types, RGB for LED control, and AV control integration. Other information about iRidium instead of KNX you can find in various webinars which are available on our website in Academy section. So what will you need to start working with iRidium for KNX? You will need iRidium software installed, also a license. At least installer needs 2 licenses, for emulator and for demonstration panel. You can take trial licenses on iRidium mobile website. Then you need a working KNX installation to connect to something. And then you use our webinar materials. Now I'm going to copy the link to webinar materials to chat. So this is the link. You can download materials in there. A demo project, a presentation in there. How iRidium for KNX works. You have KNX, you have iRidium, and it works. iRidium can work not only with KNX, but at the same time it can work with many systems, including audio-video devices, building control systems, and so on. So if you use iRidium for KNX, you are also able to use other systems at the same time. iRidium Mobile is a software solution. It does not require a server. It works on iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac. It supports many protocols, systems, and platforms, controls AV equipment on a very high level, actually better than most of the products which are available on the market now. and it has a free configurable graphical user interface. This is why we use iRidium. iRidium is used in home automation, building automation, and industrial automation. It supports scenarios and scripts. It supports sound over IP. It supports IP cameras with MJPEG H.264 and MPEG-4. And it has a lot of pre-configured modules such as iTunes, Sonos, and others. To control KNX, you need any kind of IP router or BIOS object server or logic machine 2, 3, 4 or reactor. Logic machine is a product by Embedded Systems company, and this is actually a preferable way because this is one of the best KNX controllers on the market right now. So this is how it works. It works directly using KNX IP with KNX IP router or logic machine. In BIOS interface, it uses data points. You send group addresses like 111. You do not use physical addresses. Also keep in mind that you can use feedbacks on panels with no delays. Some of iRidium KNX projects, actually a few thousand KNX projects are available now. One of them, Rabobank Netherlands, it uses KNX, Helver, Modbus, and Crestron at the same installation and controls whole building. One full iRidium license was used to control all this from many panels actually. Beijing, Linglong Tiandi, multi-story apartments building. Whole building works with KNX and iRidium. House of Rock US uses KNX and Sonos at the same installation, controlled by iRidium. Library in Romania, another building with AMX and KNX inside. Connection types and licensing. You can use KNX nets or IP tunneling. You can use one or sometimes two panels with some kind of interfaces. And you will be able to use KNX device license and device license pro. Device license means that you activate the license on your panel, like on your iPad. It uses iPad or Android or your PC hardware ID, and you can use only one panel with one license. Second way is to use KNX Net IP tunneling with iRidium Gate for PC. So in this version, PC will work all the time as server. Not the best solution, but sometimes it is fine. You will be able to use any kind of license for it. Device license or site license. Site license means that you activate it on whole site, and you can use any amount of panels which your hardware can support. 4 or 5 panels means that your usually server hardware supports this amount to work fast. If you use both with KNXNet and IP tunneling, you can use device license or site license for both, and up to 5 panels usually. If you use both 771, 772 with bus access and object server with data points, it allows you to connect up to 10 panels, but really we tried, and on practice not more than 5 recommended at the same time. You will be able to use device licenses or site licenses. If you use logic machine, you can use up to 10 panels, device licenses or site licenses. How do you prepare your ETS? First, you need to set up static IP address for your interface. Do not use DHCP or DHCP reservation. Okay, so you set up static IP address. Then make sure that addresses which iRidium controls have read flag, so you can read their status. Also make sure that all parameters for addresses are set. If you use Celsius or Fahrenheit for thermostats, if you use dimming from 0 to 100 or 0 to 255 and others. If you set them up in your devices, then you can use same parameters in iRidium. Keep in mind that parameters cannot be updated automatically in iRidium. So once you change them in ETS, you will need to manually change them in iRidium. Then you set up data points if you use BIOS. Do not forget that BIOS has limited amounts of data points. So if you have more data points than BIOS supports, for example more than 1000, you will need another BIOS controller, second one. But you will not need another license, which is important. So if you use many BIOS controllers, you use same one license for site or for device. You do not buy second license for second controller. Also, if you have more panels than your BIOS supports, then you use more than one BIOS controller, but still one license. It is very important that your IP connection is rock solid. It's very good quality. Use Wi-Fi controllers if you have some Wi-Fi networks, and use seamless networks. How do we create a iRidium project? So first, we have a PC software and iRidium mobile website. You go to website, get license in there, and then make your project inside PC software. Then you upload project plus license on your panel. This is how it works. Then your panel controls this yellow stuff, automation and AV. There is a second way, this arrow. You can give your client a QR code with a link to your project, which you can upload to any kind of HTTP server. Client uses i2control software, which is free. He installs the app from the App Store, reads the QR code and project is downloaded to his panel. So this is one way, this is another way, and sometimes installer uses both. For lighting control, we use this kind of widgets. You can use any kind of widgets actually, but we support dimming, level control, up, down buttons. We can show the real value of the address. We can use simple on-off buttons, or we can use color pickers. For motorization, we use almost same types of graphical widgets. For climate, we use these kinds of widgets. You could find them pre-configured in our Metro interface style. Also, do not forget that you can import all your ETS addresses. You use import feature of the software, giving ETS file to iRidium, and you get all your ETS group addresses inside iRidium. And then we have iRidium device tree. This is a driver, for example, KNX router, KNX net IP connection. Then you see driver tokens, where you can find different things like status of connection to KNX and others. Then you see comments, something which you send, and then you see feedbacks, something which you receive from the system. What kind of properties you can see down here? First, it's host, the IP address of your router. Then it's port. The default connection port is 3671, and you usually do not change it. Then reconnect time. It is wait time until reconnection if connection is broken. Then send time. Send time is pause between sending comments to prevent bus overload. Then ping time is frequency of ping when our driver checks connection. And then net. If you use net connection, which is usually out from outside of the house, from internet, then you use this option. BIOS has a little bit different properties. Host, which is the address, then port, and then update time. Update time is forced query frequency to check changes in BIOS. 0 means automatic, 5 seconds, which is not recommended to change. Then comments and feedbacks. Comments are addresses which we can write to the bus. Feedbacks are addresses which we can read from the bus. If hardware device supports it, we can use same address number for read and write. But most of the time for KNX, these are different addresses. Group address has some setting. First, a name for the comment. You can use any kind of name. Then KNX data type. Then subtype. And then the address itself. Data point has almost the same setup, a bit different. First is name, then type, then subtype, then address, and then command, which should be left default, set value and send to bus. What kind of control elements can we use in iRidium? We can use buttons, which sends value to address. We can use levels, which changes values on predefined range, for example from 0 to 100 or from 0 to 255. Then we have trigger button, which sends two values one by one, like 0, 1, 0, 1. It depends on feedback. So if it sees that the value is 0, then it sends 1, and vice versa. Up-down button, which increments or decrements value to address depending on feedbacks. Something like every time you press it, you get plus 10 to your brightness value. How to send to KNX? First you create a screen item, then you drag and drop comments to address. Then if you use button, you send a number, which is value. Or you can also send a string to KNX if you need. Then you select when you send it. Press, release, move or hold. How do you get feedback from KNX? You create a screen item or use the same one. Then you drag and drop feedback address to this item. And then you select feedback in value or in text form. I will show you later how to do this. You can also use relative dimming with 4-bit data type. So you can use control dimming. You make, for example, two buttons. One button is more, another button is less, for example. And then you drag comments and add value. Value can be from 0 to 15. So you can see you send, for example, value 5 and you get 6.25% decrease from the value which is active at the moment. Or you can use it to control blinds, for example. So you use this one as up, these ones as down, and 0 or 8 as stop. So you can use it. These are default KNX values. You can also read temperature. You use float 16-bit data type. You use this text in a text field, $F1 for example, or up to $F5. So you input this to text field and you drag a feedback with your value setting. For blights and motorization, mostly used two types. One is up-down plus stop. Another one is up button, down button, and stop button. Up button is 0 to up down bit, down button is 1 to up down bit, and stop button is 0 to stop bit. iRidium gate is something which you will not often use, I guess. iRidium gate is software for Windows PC. It connects more panels. It allows you to use internet control, TCP to UDP, for example. And it gives you a better reconnection if many Wi-Fi access points are used. iRidium gate is now almost not used because very soon we have iRidium server available, so it will have lots more functions. Now I switch to desktop for demonstration, and I hope it works. I guess we need to wait a little bit for this until the software is up. Okay. So can you tell me if you can see the desktop? I guess you can. All right. Then first thing is I show you iRidiumMobile.net website, and where can you get the software. So you go to download section, and download the iRidium environment for PC. This is what you need to have everything. So you download pressing here, and then you install it. After you install it, you get iRidium GUI Editor, I2 control, transfer, gate, and util. GUI Editor is used to edit your interface. I2 control for Windows is used to run your interfaces on Windows PC. iRidium transfer is used to send your projects to panels. Gate is mostly used to control via internet, and util is used to get serial numbers from controllers for site licenses. Okay, do not forget that you can get JS modules. JS modules are something which you need Pro license for. So this is for what we have Pro in our license at the end. So if you use JS modules, you need Pro license to get a feedback from your AV equipment. One way control is available in normal type of license, not Pro. Then we have simple graphical user interfaces. We can use Metro, Black. We have also a couple of demonstration interfaces and trade show interface. So you can use any of them. Then do not forget that we have support section. You can go to Academy and have more webinars in here. Ask questions, or you can go to documentation part. And here is the link for full documentation about KNX with samples. So this is the link for you. Have a direct access to our documentation. And another one if you use browse. Okay, so everything in depth available in here. Okay, so after you install iRidium Mobile, you get these links to run the software. iRidium GUI Editor, iRidium Transfer are the most important. After you run iRidium GUI Editor, you see something like this. This is iRidium Editor. What you can do is to make a new project. You can call this project anything you need. Then you select your screen resolution or device type for screen resolution. Then you use landscape or portrait orientation, or you can change them if you change your device orientation. So now we have this project and this page. Once you run the project, you see options. In these options you can find many things, but I will not go deep inside this because this is what is available in iRidium GUI Editor webinar. From here, you can edit this page. You can, for example, draw something. You can select a style of your drawing. Let's select iOS, for example. And you select button type, this one. Yeah. So we take this button, and we need this button to control something. Any kind of item on screen has properties. It has general properties, which is mostly size and type. Programming properties, what happens on press, release, hold, and move, and what feedback relations does it have. And states. States is how do you see your button. States, this is state 2. This is state 1. Usually items have 2 states, but can have more. Actually, you can use animation with many states. With 100 states, for example, it is possible to use. Okay, so then we use this button to control something. Let's say I wish to control KNX IP router connection. So I take this one and drop it to drivers. Now I have a driver. Here I have an address for my interface. My interface has 12.110 address. This is the address of my interface. And here I see tokens, driver tokens. The mostly used token is if we are online or not. So we can see something like this. And this is item which we just draw. And this item usually also has 2 states. This one is green, means state 2. This one is blue, means state 1. So we take this online token and drop it in here. It asks whether we need to see it in value, which means 0, 1 usually, and just changes color, or in text. So the text which we'll receive from the system will be shown here. No, we don't need a text, we just use the value. If we are online, we see the green one. If we are offline, we see the blue one. Okay, and this button needs to control something in KNX. So we go to comments and feedbacks. So comments, we have address 1. So let's say this will be room 1, lamp 1. Here we can select what kind of type do we use. It should be the same type which is downloaded to your device. Here we see a subtype, and here we see the address. So we have here the same as we have in ETS. Let's control address number 1, 1, 1. Okay. So we can take this address and drop it to any kind of items which we see on screen. But before, we need to understand what kind of button do we have. Here we have some types. Perhaps you remember I just told you in presentation what kind of types can we have. So a normal button just sends something. So you take this one, you drag to your item, and then you select whether you send it on press, on release, hold, or move. I like release, for example, because you see that you pressed the button. and then you release it and it works. What do we need to send? Let's send 1 and nothing else. Then we can run our emulator and see here that connection is green, that we are connected, and see here in log that we are connected. The log is available if you press in emulator F4. F4, F4, it toggles the log. So I press here and I send 1 to 111. I actually can see the logic machine interface with the address 1. So I just press it and it becomes 1. You see? I turn off from the logic machine interface. Okay, so this is what we need, but once I press it again, it sends 1, 1 and not more. So I can have another button which will be 0. Let's have another button, and this button sends the same channel but 0. One, 0. This is what we have here. Okay, so I go back to chat to see if you have any questions yet. Okay. Can Z-Wave.js module controls P-bar devices? Not yet. We will have a separate P-bar module by our partners who work with Z-Wave. Now we control Raspberry controller, which is called Z-Wave. You can find everything about this in the description of our module. So Z-Wave software is controlled by iRidium. If we need P-bar, we wait a little. It will be ready soon, as I was told. Okay, so let's move on. Let's say we need a button which controls, which toggles our light group 0, 1. So we have a item type which is not button but trigger button, which can send 2 values in here, and it will not ask you for a value when you drag something on it, because it will take values from here. So for simple switch we need 0, 1. So you take this one and you drop it here. The important thing about this is that it does not ask you about value. It takes it from here, but it will need a feedback channel, because it would not know when to send 0 or when to send 1 if you change it from different kind of device. So here we connect feedback also. By default, it connects the same feedback channel, so it makes the feedback channel with the same address. If you have another address, let's say you have feedbacks in 2 in here, yeah, you can change it. But I will not change it. I have a virtual 111 address, which is the same for feedback and for comment. So I press emulate again. See? 1 here, 0. 1, 0. What is also important, if I do this from KNX network, so this window is actually a KNX network, I see the feedback in iRidium. So I can turn off from here and turn on here and vice versa. I can also do this many times, and at the end they will be perfectly synced. Okay? I see we have a question. How do I link comments to the status of the online token? If it is offline, then no comments or feedbacks are active. I don't understand. Comments to the oh, so you mean then if it is online, then something happens. You mean this? You can do this using script language. iRidium gives you JavaScript part. In JavaScript, you can do anything, including what you tell. So in here, you can use project tokens. So whether it is online or offline, or whether Wi-Fi available or not, it can do something automatically. So you can do it here. You can find all the commands and mini demo projects like snippets on our website. Okay. Let's move on. We have actually more. We can import your ETS project. So you do not type it yourself. We have a small project in here. In here we have unsupported sites. Unsupported sites means that you don't have this. It means that it has 0 bits, and this address does not work actually. So if you will need it, you will be able to add it later. But in here you add only something which has more than 0 bits, 1 bit or more. Okay. So here we have KNX IP router added from our project. And all the addresses which we have in this project. So this one is for relay and this one is for feedback. Actually, we don't need feedback addresses in comments, so we can delete them. So everything which is feedback is not needed here. Also, in feedbacks, we do not need addresses which are not feedback. So we remain only this feedback in here. Once your project is run, we have all addresses acquired by the software. So if you have too many addresses, too much addresses which are not used, then your software will start slower. So I would recommend you to remove all not feedback addresses from feedback and all feedback from comments. Okay. Okay, more questions? Is there a way to pull data when the connection is up again? Ask for feedback, for example. This is a question to Katerina, I guess. So I hope she has answers. Okay. So actually, I told you almost everything about KNX Driver. I don't think you need more, but we also in materials have a KNX control examples. So if you open it in emulator, you can see different types of control for KNX. So here we have connection. Here we have on off for our relay. We can use separate buttons for on off, or we can use one button for trigger. Then we can use dimmer, which will be unsigned 8-bit usually. So we have different levels for this dimmer. We can use plus minus buttons. Now let's move to the project to see how we make it. So for relay, you see here in comments, highlighted by green, what kind of comments do we use. We use this command, which is 1-bit switch. So in programming, we find that we send 1 to on a press event to this channel. Off sends 0 to the same channel. This is the same, and this is trigger button, which sends 0, 1, the same as I showed you. In dimmer, we have this dimmer level unsigned 8-bit. This is the address, and it supports the percentage from 0 to 255. So in general properties, we see that the type of this item is level, and it has minimum value 0, maximum value 255. So you can actually use gallery to see different types of levels, widgets, or you can see them in gallery, like this one. So this is the level also, and if we need it to be the same as this one, we just make it from 0 to 255 and drag the same address to it. For level, there is a problem. We can send the command on press, on release, on hold, or on move. When to send it? We usually send on move and on release. So once you move it, you see the value is changed, and once you release it, you send the last value to it. Will iRidium support per app VPN on iOS? I'm sorry, I cannot tell you what this means, and I don't know. I can give you the address for support. Maybe support guys will help you. I never used VPN myself actually, so I cannot tell you. Okay, so what more do we have? We have plus button and minus button. So minus button is up down button which gives you -20 every time it is pressed down to 0. Plus button gives you +20 up to 255. That's it. So any kind of button which is up down button can give you plus something or minus something of your value. Also, we can have button which sends you 128 and it will be 50% for this type of dimming. Then we have control dimming for bits. This here. So we can have it on or off. We can have +6 every time or -6 every time. It does not get the feedback from the system now because we don't have this kind of address, but it should. So what this means that we have a control dimming which is 4-bit. This is the address for control dimming address, and we send 5 to get -6%, and we send 13 to have +6%, and we send 9 to have it on, and 1 to have it off. Then a small question: how do we show the value? This 130 value. This value we have when we type $V in text field. So we can have any kind of item, and we can have a text field $V. Then we take a feedback, the same as this one, dimmer level, to here. It asks us in value or in text. Text we almost do not need anytime. We almost all the time use value. Here it is, the same amount of value as here. We also have a blinds control in here. This is one way to control blinds. And here we have another way to control its top and left and right. You can find how we program blinds in this section. Then we have a temperature. And for temperature we can use a $V to see the temperature. Or sometimes we need to use more exact values like this. This one is $F1, this one is $F2, $F3, and $F4. And these are buttons which add value. So we can set up the temperature. Okay. And then we have a color picker. When we select the color and then turn it on, and it sends the value. Then once we release it from this color picker, it immediately sends the new color to our RGB LED lamp. Okay, I have more questions in here. Dear Katerina, could you put this and answer? Okay. We can also send a string. It can be here, so we can input fields and press send or enter, and it will turn up on display field. Okay, and you can see the settings in this project. I already gave you the link where you can download this project to see all the settings. Okay, and we also can change connection address. We can set the local connection or external connection. So you can see also current parameters in here, and parameters taken from here, from drivers, here host IP. Okay, and here you see script calls for internal or external connections. You can use these not changing, but you need to understand that your scripts should be in script section for this to work. Okay, so I guess I told you almost everything about KNX connections. Then you need to try to understand everything. So I will try now to show you some more abilities of iRidium. So you understand what else can you use instead of KNX. Okay, so for example, we can control different kinds of AV equipment. You can go here to products, JS modules, and download some kind of JS module. So you can use all these devices. Let's say we need a squeeze box. Yeah. So we download a squeeze box module. Squeeze box, where is it? Here it is. So you see, now the archive is being downloaded. So you just open this archive. And you see two types. The one is iPad 1024, another one is iPad Retina. Okay, just open the normal iPad. Okay, so it is open, you see. You see a small information of how to run it here. So to have a squeeze box, we need to run Logitech Media Server, which is running, and we need to run a squeeze player somewhere on any kind of Android, Linux or Windows device. I will run it locally. Okay. Right, so I run emulator. And here we have a module. It is called JS script, but what you can see is actually a graphical user interface. So in here you can see two players. One is my Android device where I run Squeeze player. Another one is PC, which is local. So let me see for albums, and let me select this album, and it plays. I can control volumes. I can pause. Yeah, I can add next and more actually. And then I can also save playlist. Yeah. So then I can go to another room, another player, and it will work separately. So you see it plays, and it has a different volume. Okay. So in here you see the log of what happens in there, but shouldn't actually. You can also use radios. If you need. So different kinds of radios. Okay, so pretty nice module which is available for you for free, along with others. So what you can do is you can take this module and just merge it with your project. It will ask you how to call this. Let me place it on a desktop, and to call it webinar temp. Okay, so I have a new project which consists of what I created with these buttons, and let me make it a little bit nicer with backgrounds. Right click, put image to page background. Okay. Also, I need a button to make this work. So I will just copy this button in here. So this one will open this quiz box for us. And let's see if it works. Okay. We open this quiz box in here, and you see it works. So you don't have to do anything, it just works, and you control your music. It even has settings. Okay. So you can use any kind of this. Also, you can have a very fast way to create your projects. You can create nice projects very fast by using preconfigured projects, of course. But I will show you how to use this option, which is called Wizard. So you press on a wizard, and it will give you many preconfigured pages. Almost everything which you need, you can find usually there. So you need a main page with the lists of something, of devices or rooms, with a menu up here for group control of climates, of lights, of cameras, and with scenarios. So you double click on main, and you see the main page is here. Let's say we need to control lights and shades, and here it is, and we added a pop-up which is called lights and shades. This is our page, and this is the pop-up. What is the difference between pop-up and page? The page takes all your desktop, and pop-up takes only part of it, so you can open some of them. Not one, but many. You can also have pop-up properties in here, and you can use even drags. So you drag your window. So you delete your main page, page 1, which you don't need. And on the main page, you say that you will control lights when you press this button. So you press this button, and what will happen? You go to Programming, press, and this one is called Macros Editor. Macros Editor means that you can run any amount of commands on this press event. So what you need here is show pop-up, which pop-up? Lights and shades. Okay. And once you press home, you will hide all pop-ups. You can also use not show pop-up events, but not show pop-up action, but toggle pop-up. And delete show pop-up, for example. Just leave toggle pop-up here. You can use many things in here: script calls, delays, and even execute external programs, external apps, if you know their URL scheme. Okay, so let us see this pop-up, and we need to control KNX router. Here is its IP address and the commands, and I need the most simple 111, and the same in feedback, 111. And here I have a button which is already a trigger button with 01. So I take this one here and drop it here, marking add the feedback channel. So that's it. This is the most simple project, and it already looks pretty nice. You can press lights here, and you have this pop-up, and you press here, and it turns on off your address. Where is it? It's here. Yeah. See? And it also works with feedback for KNX address. And you can drag this window if you need. Yeah. And you can close it when you press lights and shades again, because it toggles. You can also turn it on like this and press home. Okay. Then let's say we need a squeeze box, and we drag a squeeze box inside there. And then let's say we need camera control, and for camera, let's say we want to change this on a camera. So we go to gallery and we go to cameras section, and we select some kind of camera which we prefer, and we make the size which we need, and then we double click on it and insert the address in here for our feed. Okay, and that's it, nothing more. And if you press on a camera and you want to have it full screen, you just go to programming, press events, make a full screen page with this camera, and that's it, nothing else. Okay. Also, I would like to show you, let's say, this project. Which is very nice for home theater. It is known for home theater, so you can also use it. So this is pre-configured project, so you can select here what kind of device do you control, and you have a mini remote in here. Yeah. In here you have scenarios, and change it to climate control and change it to lighting control. Also go to cameras and see cameras in here. Oh, this camera even works. Oh yeah, you can see it here working. Okay, so very nice project, you can use it. We also have a lot of other capabilities which I don't have time to tell you now. One more thing is you can use, for example, you can use animations. I have animation in here with iRidium logo, and animation is actually item on the screen with many states. You can see how many states does it have. Animation is created automatically if you point the gallery to the folder which has many images with the same name but different digits at the end, and it is created automatically. So you run this, and unfortunately you will not see anything now, because every time we drag an image on a screen, we assume that it is an image, not item, and you cannot click it. So you need to change it from pass-through to active touch in hit section, and then it will work. So I press it and we see the animation. Okay. Also, let's say you like some kind of things, like you like these 3 buttons, and with this thing in here, and you wish to use it all the time. In this, not adding 1 button, 2 buttons, 3 button, and this thing. So you can change this, and you can move this to the gallery. It asks whether we need to group the object. Yes. And we call it, let's say, mini buttons, mini widget. Okay. So we sit here, and anything you saved like this, you can place on the screen anytime, any place. Okay. So I could tell you a lot of things, but I will stop now because I guess it is enough of information for you at the moment. I see here we had a lot of questions, and thank you, Katerina, that you helped me. Is it possible to change resolution or orientation? Yes, yes. I'm sorry I did not show this to you. Let me go back to desktop. Okay, hope you can see my desktop again. Yeah, and I wanted to show you the orientation change. So you make another page. So let's say we have page 1. We have another page. So page 1, portrait, and we make it orientation portrait. Yeah. Then we right click on page 1. And select add view. And now we have the same page, but with different orientation. Okay. So we can have one page with 2 types of orientations, and this one we can rename landscape. And the connection between them we see in here in alternate view. Yeah. We also can have an alternate view for this page 1 also. And here, once we change it to portrait, it will go to this page, which we select here. Okay. So we can dynamically change orientation. All right. Great. Now let me ask you one thing. For certification, if you need certification, infinite trial licenses and so on, you make a project by your hands which will control anything, actually, any kind of project which will work, and you send it to my email address, which you can find here, nikolay.rusanov@iridiummobile.ru, and after that you will receive your certification. Please do not forget to send a demo project. Okay? If you have more questions, please ask now. Can we link animation as a status feedback? Yes, we can. Actually, a feedback goes from the first animation state to the last one. So if you have a feedback, if you have animated level, which is called multi-state level, different values of your feedback, you have different states. Yeah, multi-state button and multi-state level. Okay, so I guess this is it. When the iRidium server will be available? Few months, guys, few months. I cannot tell you the exact date until I see it myself. So no one knows yet. It is being tested very actively. Okay, so I hope you like this webinar. Please come to our other webinars and go to forum and take part in there. Thank you for coming again. Goodbye.